Two other packet analysis tools we're going to look at are WinDump and Tcpdump. Now, if you're an old Linux guru and if you've used it for a while, then you're probably familiar with Tcpdump. Tcpdump is a packet capture and analysis tool that's built into most of the versions of Linux out there today and some versions of Unix. Basically, Tcpdump is a command line utility used to capture and analyze traffic. Now, WinDump is a port of Tcpdump for Microsoft Windows. So if you've used Tcpdump and you've wanted to have that capability in Microsoft Windows, you can download and use WinDump as well. Now, being a command line tool, there's all kinds of switches and things that go with Tcpdump. We're not going to cover all of them, but we will cover a couple of them. WinDump fortunately uses basically the same command line switches, and it basically is used just the same way Tcpdump is used on Microsoft Windows. Let's take a look at Tcpdump so you can kind of see what it looks like. Okay, now we're in Backtrack, a Linux distribution that's used for pen testing and other security uses. And we're in a command prompt and we're going to look at Tcpdump. If we just run Tcpdump, then we're going to see a raw capture. Now the usage is pretty much the same on most versions of Linux and most versions of Tcpdump. Now it's going to grab the first interface that's out there, the active interface, by default. As you can see, there's a lot going on here, and if you look at it, it's really not that much different from Wireshark. You've got a time index, you've got a packet index, and you've got the different traffic that's going on. You've got the protocols and the information. The display is a little bit different than what you might see in Wireshark, but it's still very intuitive. You can kind of tell what's going on. And we see some IP stuff going on, some ARP broadcasts and things like that. So we're going basically through this packet capture here, and we can save this packet capture. We can basically divert it to a text file. We can save it for later and so forth. And there's some options out there. We can select which different interfaces we want and so forth. So Tcpdump is actually very simple to use. All you really have to do is know which command line switches you want. And you can take the captures from Tcpdump, or WinDump for that matter, and play them back through Wireshark or Etherrail or any other packet analysis tool.